Hi, and welcome to the first module on what is migraine. Migraine can be really different for each of us, and I suffer with something called vestibular migraine, which perhaps many of you may not have heard of. But it's you having a migraine, but actually sometimes what you're feeling is not the physical, normal, typical migraine symptoms. It gives you vertigo and dizziness, and then you can get also the migraine symptoms. So when I first started experiencing this, I didn't have any typical migraine symptoms at all. And in fact, the vestibular migraine that I was experiencing, because it was mostly vertigo and dizziness, it went undiagnosed for many years. And when I did finally get a diagnosis, which was incredibly hard to get, it made perfect sense. So for me, managing the actual migraine element is a really important factor to be able to manage the vestibular element of it. So therefore, I do understand that migraines can present themselves so differently for each and every one of us. And they can also really vary in the extent of severity. So for some people, they may get a migraine 1 or 2 times a year, through to more likely the reason that you're here is experiencing them much more frequently, and these can be monthly and obviously weekly. And for some people, and I was one of these people, my migraines never went away. So in fact, I was having a migraine of every single minute of every single day, and that was quite challenging. So I spent many months in bed and not being able to get out. So it can be very debilitating, it can be very frustrating, and I do understand that with each and every one of you. So understanding the type of migraine that you have can be really important, just to be able to really understand how it's presenting for you. So for example, children can often get migraines, but they may be more stomach migraines, for example. Some people have more hormonal migraine, so that might fall in line with their cycle, for example. So understanding what type of migraine that you have can be really helpful to understand how we're going to approach it and what pillars and what parts of the body we really need to be able to focus on in order to be able to support you. So hopefully the following information will be really helpful for you, perhaps enlightening. And if you don't know your type of migraine you have, that's okay. Sometimes it can be really hard to get to specialists and neurologists, things like that, for example, to be able to really pinpoint it. But having an idea as to whether yours is really influenced by, for example, your menstrual cycle or periods of stress can really help me isolate down and focus in on areas that's going to be really beneficial to support you. So again, it's just listening to your body and taking note and having an understanding. So I really look forward to seeing you in the next module.